Hello, everyone. I am on day 3 of no videos, YouTube videos, no Facebook. Uh, I did upload some to my channel, but I scheduled them so I wouldn't have to look at them. And I am finding out so much more that I would love to know, that I'm glad that I'm finding out, even though 98% of it is bad. But my YouTube channel is like 100% bad. Well, 99%, because every now and then I see something joyful. But I am dedicating this video to domestic violence. It has to end. And the reason why I'm getting back on it today is because I've been hearing these people talking about crime is down. We're going to get into that later on. But until somebody can stand up and say, "What are you talking about, Willis? We just had 3 murders this past weekend. 2 people just got shot this morning. What are you talking about? Crime is down." Until you can say no more crime, shut up. Crime being down doesn't mean a thing to those families that having to bury their children because of gun violence, or these people having to put up more cameras, buy guard dogs. But we're going to get into that later. But domestic violence, let's look at a little bit together. Now, when it comes to domestic violence, it's good for every couple to talk about this. And that's the problem with, especially here in America, we don't want to talk to our partners about serious things. It is a list of things that all couples should talk about. And now we're talking about young couples because we are having 17-year-olds killing 17-year-olds. Talking about, "You cheated on me." Oh, they too serious. Um, you need to talk to your partner and ask some questions. Do roll call, role games. How would you act in this situation? How would you handle this situation? Um, have a friend if you could, or somebody to come up to you and hug you or something like that, just to see his reaction. Because a lot of men, they get this thing where they think they own you and nobody's supposed to touch you. No, that don't work like that. I am the keeper of my own body. I say who can't touch me, not you. And that is something that you need to get that across, because if you walking down the street and a friend of yours or a relative come up and hug you or even shake your hands and he get an attitude, you already know that we've already established this, but I see you were lying. And it's time to let it go. And we have to face it. Some people are not easily to let things go. So that's a whole nother problem. So let's see what they're talking about, because um, it's good to have an attorney on call. It's good to have Okay, this is a advertisement. This is an advertisement. Okay. Um, but this is stuff that you need to talk about because we're not going to be stupid and think that this can't happen to us. It can happen to anybody. When you get in a relationship, there's a chance that you might break up. You need to have this on a trial basis before we get into a committed relationship. And then, too, sometimes it's too late. Um, okay. Who is a victim of domestic abuse? It could be verbal, physical, sexual, emotional, financial, and technologically. What is that? People from marginalized groups are at higher risk, but anyone can be a victim of abuse. And why is that? Marginalized people. Do you consider yourself marginalized? Okay. Let's um let me say. Now, marginalized. What is marginalized groups?
A marginalized group consists of people pushed to the edges of society due to discrimination and bias. This leads to disadvantages in daily life, affecting access to education, jobs, healthcare, and political representation. These groups often experience overlapping factors like race, gender, socioeconomic status, disability, religion, and cultural beliefs.
Now, marginalization restricts a group's ability to participate fully in civic life. Less access to quality education and jobs. Poor health outcomes in healthcare. Lower political representation. Higher rates of poverty and social isolation. So, they are higher risk. But why? That is something that we need to concentrate more on. And that's why these politicians and these corporations are so eager and able to do the things they do because we don't take care of each other. We don't take care of each other like we should. Shit. Um, and and when we don't take care of each other, we become marginalized because we're not taking care of each other like these corporations do. And these rich people, they look after each other real tough. I got your back. These rich people, they got each other's back. Okay? Because they know they need each other. So we're going to have to stop being marginalized people by helping one another. Just like something happens down in Mississippi, all of us, near and far, should help. The Center of Family Safety and Healing. What is this about? Our goal is to end family violence and create safe and thriving communities. How is that working out? Our team of experts provides each person. Now, we need more than that, because you know that this center is federalized. So they're going to only do so much because of their regulations. And the federal government can do anything and at any time. Just like they try to do when they give you money, they try to tell you what you can do, what you can say, where you can go, who you can help. No, we can't have that in domestic violence. We have to be able to do what we need to do to end domestic violence. Just like when they tried to tell those HBCUs that they couldn't use the word black. Just because they've given them money, that they're going to try to tell these black people not to use the word black. That's why I say that these NGAs, that's why they're being under attack, because we have a rogue government that wants to control too much. Now, domestic violence restraining orders is a joke. Now, we don't hear enough about the restraining orders that worked. We hear a lot about the ones that don't work. We hear about the ones that went down there, signed all the paperwork, and did all this, and then still got killed. But it's a joke because, for one thing, when you go down there and ask for a restraining order, that means that you are scared for your life, limb, and liberty, and your children, and your property. You need guarding. These people should have some form of bodyguard, some form of surveillance at their disposal. Especially going and coming from the court, because that's when they're wide open, and you could shoot somebody from a block away. But we're not taking it that serious. And 24/7 mental health support. That is very, very, very needed. That's why all this stuff needs to be available in every home, in every conversation. Because people don't take it serious enough. Just like that one woman, I can't think of her name. She's on trial now for killing her kids, and they said that she was telling people that she had these mental tendencies to harm others, and that she's on all these different medications, and she's hearing things, and they didn't take her serious. And it's just like that one woman that her daughter killed her, beat her with a skillet. I've seen that on YouTube. even though she had not too long got out of a mental facility. We're not taking stuff serious enough. I know everybody can't be saved. I know that, and that's just the world we live in. But if we don't help each other enough, especially family, all this stuff could be avoided. Domestic violence prevention. Awareness is the key. Education is the key. Knowing when a relationship is not healthy. Legal awareness. And also to look at the behaviors. And a lot of times, just stop being stupid. Why are you going to get in a relationship with somebody who's in jail for murder? Why are you going to get in a relationship with somebody who is known to be a abuser? It's a lot of stuff that we can do to prevent it, and that's the key. Now we have teen dating abuse. Yes, that's coming a lot. Community training programs. We don't have enough of those because see, a lot of people don't trust these government sponsored programs. They're not to be trusted because whatever you say can be used against you when you get involved with these programs. And a lot of them really, really can't help you because if you were in a relationship with somebody or you have an ex who's bound, determined to do you harm, what is that program going to do for you? How is that program going to help you? So we need to get serious on the kind of help that we need.
Why you keep hitting that girl? Like, I just got a question. Why you be whooping her ass? You ugly ass. Bro, you ugly as fuck. And why you
Yeah, I'm gonna remove everybody as a mod. Yeah, they are trolling because they don't have a life. They sound like teenagers. Like
Yeah. They're clearly bored as fuck with their life.
bored.
Nobody has time.
It's not the mods. They just
Whichever
wait. Can you be quiet? Can't read. It's not the mods. Just let join yourself. Okay. Let me take my shit off then. Thank y'all. Cause there's little children. I ain't got time for the children.
Yeah. So you see,
How do you do that, babe?
a lot of people are not taking stuff
Just ignore
serious.
them. Babe, nobody's gonna come up on our phone. We can ignore them all we want, but like nobody's gonna, I mean, come up on our life. That's all I'm gonna say. I don't want nobody up on my life. No kids either. Like, y'all can say whatever y'all want about me ugly. I don't give a shit, but no. LaQuinta said, shut that shit up.
LaQuinta said, Daddy is fine as fuck.
LaQuinta, thank you so much.
Now, this is another thing that I find out what's going on in 2026. A lot of these women are disrespecting themselves, disrespecting their man. They think they can talk to a man any kind of way. And they're disrespecting other women. And the way that they carry themselves can cause issues that can lead to violence. Because it has a lot to do with the way you live your life, and that the way you live your life can attract violent men. And a lot of us think that walking around with a bunch of tattoos and short dress on or short shorts on, butt hanging out, and I'm not saying, I'm just saying that that's what I've observed. Um, and I've noticed too that a lot of these successful women that got education, that got business, that got a beautiful home and kids, are somehow attracted to these men. And a lot of the time it's because they feel like they got to have a man. They got to have that warm body. They got to have somebody that makes them feel good. And another thing too, I've noticed that people feel like if you ain't got a man, people gonna think that you must be gay. Yeah, because I've had a couple of men say that to me because I didn't want to talk to her. What, are you gay? Because I don't have a man coming in and out my house, or yeah, are you gay? So, and I know women that is addicted to having a relationship. They want a relationship and they get the wrong man and they realize it's the wrong man, and then they break up with him and they begin to feel like it's their fault. I know a woman that committed suicide because she couldn't hold on to a man. So it's a lot that we need to discuss. We need to talk. This is something that needs to be talked about every day, because we are dealing with women that look at Tyler Perry movies, Tubi movies, 50 Cent movies, um, P Valley, and they get it confused what a man really is, and how to talk to a man, how to really um, choose a man. Because a lot of times I know that a lot of women don't even choose the man choose her. You're mine now. Like, when did that happen? Where did that come from? Yeah, that has happened to me. I'm like, I feel like I've been kidnapped. So it's a lot of stuff that we need to talk about ourselves. We don't have enough organizations, groups and NGAs to combat this domestic violence. Let's see what this is talking about while I go and check on my food.
This is part two for domestic violence awareness. TikTok. This is for educational and entertainment purposes. Now, this one the first time that they've had like volatile arguments, but they've only had arguments. I've never been around for their arguments, but I know that their arguments can get heated pretty quickly. I knew that he was on some type of drug or some type of something because before the Thanksgiving incident happened, I have found it was like it looked like a CD case, like a movie case, a CD case in a bathroom. I have found it in a bathroom one day, and my my dad had like a shaving kit. So that's what I'm thinking it is, like a shaving kit or whatever. So I'm like, okay, whatever. I sit on the toilet and everything just like fell over. Like the needles, the whole like everything, y'all. It was everything just fell over. I jump up. I'm like, whoa. Because I didn't know what it was, but I just knew it was inappropriate. It was like some movie shit. Like I didn't know exactly what it was, but I just knew it was inappropriate. And I knew it was inappropriate because my grandmother used to be on drugs a long time ago. And so we were aware of like the signs and the things to look for. So I ran and got my mama or whatever. And my mom, I think she was so disassociated. Like she was just in disbelief. She was just disassociated. And it explained because he would be in a bathroom for like a long time. And at the time when we lived with him, we only had one bathroom, me and my sister. And like he would be in there early as fuck in there for a long time until the point where my mom would be like, get the fuck out the bathroom. Like my kids gotta get ready for school. Like, what are you doing? Like, my kids gotta get up and get ready for school. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you? What are you doing? Type shit. And he was just a fucking mess. Like he never liked dropping us off at school. I remember he made us catch the bus in the cold. Like my mama had to get my sister, my oldest sister, to come take us back and forth to school because he just would never do it. Would never do it. Anyway, and so it was like this Thanksgiving or whatever. He told me to go in my room when we came home from Black Friday shopping. Him and my mama got into it because she asked him, did he want to go with us before? And he said no, or whatever. Like clean flat out no. She kept asking him, he like, no. Go ahead, go enjoy your time, go enjoy your kids. It's the holidays, we'll do what we'll. Okay, cool. It's the holiday, we gonna go have fun. We went out with our sisters and then we went over to my sister's house and then we went to Thanksgiving, Black Friday. So we coming home from Black Friday. He's sitting in the dark, bloodshot, fucking red ass eyes, sitting in the dark, scared the fuck out of us. We like, what are you doing? Starting to argue with my mama, like, you didn't see me calling you, you didn't see me texting you. My mama like, no, you never called me, you never text me. You might have thought you did, but you never did. First off. Second of all, you knew where I was at. You knew you could have pulled up anytime where we was at. You was more than welcome to come. You just chose not to come or whatever. He tells me to go to my room. Next thing I know, I hear them fighting. Boom. We beating his ass. Me and my mama. Cause I hear them fighting when I was sitting in a room. I turned the TV up actually because I didn't want to hear them arguing. But I didn't hear no more arguing. So I'm thinking the argument is diffused until I heard furniture shuffling. And that's when I go out there. I said, oh, you putting your hands on my mama? I grabbed the fucking board. I think it was a 4x4. I don't know. I'm bad with measurements, y'all. I grabbed a wooden board and I just started binking his head. And the board had a nail in it. So at the same time I'm bamming him in his motherfucking head, I'm literally like had a nail like I could have, you know.
Ooh, okay. All right. That's
But anyway, but you're not thinking in that moment.
okay. That is something that goes on in too many homes. That is terrible. That's scary. That is, oh, that's sad that anyone have to deal with that. That somebody's beating your mother. Now, I know domestic violence has been around a long time. I didn't know, I didn't hear about it when I was growing up. You know, we didn't, well, for one thing, we didn't have the information corridor like we have now. Even looking at the news, you may hear about it maybe once in a while. And we sure didn't know anybody. Um, our generation, in the 70s and stuff, we was too busy trying to make money and make babies. Yes, yes, it was drugs and alcohol. Yes, it was. But we was too busy having fun. And I look back on it, I that was not the time. I think we was having too much fun. We should have never ever stopped fighting for our rights. But um and you didn't too much hear about these men putting their hands on women because men basically all they wanted to do was just get in your pants. And um and women were more respectful to their man because they really needed their man. Because I didn't know this until recently that a lot of women couldn't even get property in their name, get a bank account in their name, get credit in their name, you know. So women were more respectful to men, and they was okay with being possessive. These are city folks. Now, what they did down south in them woods, a whole different story. It's no telling what kind of violence went on because it was covered up from the ground up. You had the sheriff was like, okay, well, yeah, she needed her ass beat. To the family, yeah, well, don't beat her so bad the next time. And the kids, running to the room, covering their ears. It's a shame what women had to go through. But like I said, I didn't hear about women getting beat like that. And then a lot of these men were literally scared of women too back then because we women didn't care. Didn't they held their own. And they had family that will come and beat your ass and probably shoot you. Yeah. When they called dad, all they had to say was one word, and dad was on their way with that shotgun. But now, with the family the way it is now, we don't really have family that's really there for one another. A lot of women are growing up with fatherless homes. Oh, it's a mess. That's why we need one another desperately right now. Yeah. So I'm going to um let's talk about let's talk about crime. They are literally talking about crime is down. Is it? I wonder. Is it? Is crime real? Now they talking about it's down from the pandemic. Has crime really went down since Trump? It's definitely not because of his policies. Now, body crime and homicides that rose around 2020 to 2021 has fallen, with several city and national level data series recording substantial declines. Murders is down 21.6%, but people are still getting murdered. What is the difference? Major cities, chiefs associates found homicides down 19% in the first 9 months of 2025. But hate crime is up, domestic violence is up. Even though you didn't get murdered, you still was abused. You still had violence put on you. Now, decline has began before Trump, okay? But like I said, it don't matter to these three people, families that was just killed in Mississippi. And what do you mean it's down? What does that mean? Crime is down. No, we want to hear crime is being dealt with in a timely manner. You know how many people is out here that have committed murder is still walking around among us? So we don't want to hear that. And when you say it's falling from what height? From where? It's no big deal when the crime rate was like 800 a year down to 798 a year. That's what is that? What does that mean? When we just had a mass shooting just 2 days ago, 5 people killed, and the gunman. What does that mean? Violent crimes kept falling across many of the nation's largest cities through June, with homicides down 17.2% from the first half of 2025, according to the preliminary data. Homicides fell 17.2%. Yes, it's a good thing that it's dropping and not going up. But until you can say it's down 50%, shut up. DC reported 46 homicides, down from 82 in the first half of 2025, down from 82 to 46. Is that supposed to be a sign of celebration? No. Memphis fell from 119 to 67. Now that's pretty good, but it ain't 50%. It ain't good enough. Philadelphia recorded 83, down from 114. So we're going by what happened last year. Okay. Aurora, Colorado, a city Trump falsely singled out as being overrun by Venezuelan immigrant gangs during the 2024 election, saw a 58.8% drop in homicides. Newark fell from 64.7% from 17 to 6. Raleigh fell from 11 to 4. But Honolulu jumped from 7 to 13. San Diego jumped from 16 to 29. So the talking point now is that Trump made it's making America safe again. And that's what the White House is saying. He's delivering faster and more decisively than any administration in history. Okay, that is one of their talking points. Okay. All right. Remember, it's just a talking point. There's no truth to it. So, what are we going to do? You have the government trying to tell us that. They always tell us that around election time. And a lot of people will believe it. But if you look at, since I haven't been looking at YouTube, I've been looking at news channels. I've been looking at Sky News and what's been going on. What I heard and seen this morning was so hard to watch. But it was talking about how they have destroyed Gaza, how they have eliminated whole families. These are God's chosen people, they claim, the Jews, these Israelites. These Israelites are literally killing people randomly. They are literally making it hard for people to live in their homes, bombing hospitals, keeping people from getting food and water. How do you call yourself God's people and have that kind of mindset? I know because it's in the Bible. God has told many people not to kill, but then turn around and tell people to kill. So, all right. I do recommend to stop looking at YouTube news and getting your news from Facebook. I recommend subscribing to these other news outlets, Raw Story, Sky News, and really get really get informative news, not news that people pick and choose what to tell you, and listen to different news, but not all the time because it will make you depressed. All right, thank you for listening, and I have a book out that anyone that joins my movement, the Enough is Enough movement group, that's what we will be discussing, and that's what we will be changing our life with. No more trivial living. And we will not be marginalized anymore. Thank you.